My father's girlfriend accused me of stealing from her when I was doing her a favor and tried to attack me, so I called the police and charged her with battery. I live in a rented house with my boyfriend and roommate. My father has been dating a woman for the past 3 years who was widowed in 2020. For simplicity, I'll call her Kate. Kate for the past 3 years has been going through probate as a result of her late husband's death. During probate, my father has repeatedly volunteered us without asking first for a task, my brother and me to help with anything and everything involving Kate. Currently, my brother and I are owed over $5,000 from the money we have given to help her out on multiple occasions, and my father is owed over $10,000. The list of things we were asked to do was ridiculous. Some examples: she fired her probate lawyer for calling her sweetheart, so I had to research how to file documents with the court. Her late husband was in tech as MI, so I was tasked with going through all 18 computers, and sorting through all the data I could recover from them. Her late husband also had simple encryptions on hard drives, which I had to decrypt and then sort through that data. With the data from the previous example and this one, I had sorted through over 60 terabytes of data in those 3 years. These are just a few examples that I'll come back to. The problem is probate finally got around to selling Kate's house. Her house was over 7,000 square feet and was sold for a couple of million because of the area. She refused to look for other accommodations and didn't move out any items as the date for the closing was approaching. Knowing that when closing hit she would lose all her stuff, my father asked if they could move some of her items to my house. The original deal was that I could sell the items in my house to get the money I am owed back. Then any extra funds could be split between Kate and I. Thinking about it, I initially agreed because she had a 500 square foot closet of designer purses and shoes, so I thought that I would have no issue getting my money back and that it wouldn't take up too much space cause I have a spare room and could store it in there until it's sold. On the day before closing we had gotten a U-Haul to move Kate's stuff to my house and it was a disaster. She had an entire RV garage full of stuffed animals, old toys, and damaged furniture. She has 2 cats and the furniture was scratched and torn up. I protested, but my father said I'd still be able to recover my money from this stuff and started loading the U-Haul. It took 6 trips with the largest size U-Haul to move some of her items out of the house. We only stopped because there was no more room in my house to place anything. She ended up having to get another 8 storage units plus a 2-bedroom apartment to get the rest of the stuff out of her old house. I started sorting through stuff to see what I could even sell and found that at least half of the items were cheap toys that you would get from a claw machine sort of quality. Of the remaining items, the only valuable things were a backyard furniture set that the cats didn't get to and Squishmallows. I listed the furniture set and within an hour of it being up, I got a call from Kate. She screamed at me that it was listed as too low and that I could get more money from it. She thought I was lowballing so I didn't have to split money with her. Since that incident, she had told my father every time I list something that is at my house that isn't listed at the price she wants it at. My father has scolded me more than once for stealing from her because I'm not splitting every cent that I sell things for, even though the deal was for me to get paid off first then split. I finally snapped yesterday after being told I was stealing from her yet again and told him he's lucky I'm only asking for $2,000. He told me I should be thankful to even get that much from her and that she shouldn't owe me a dime. What he didn't know is I kept logs of exactly how long everything took me while I was doing favors for him. I also looked up how much money each of those favors would pay a freelancer. I told him that actually I saved her almost $450,000 from the work that I did for free for her and that he's lucky that I'm not going to her probate and listing the work that I have done to become a creditor. I already talked with a lawyer and I have everything I need to do that. He was appalled and demanded they come to take every item from my house since I'm stealing and I couldn't be trusted anymore. I said that for that to happen Kate would have to pay me for rent for the storage space she used, then I'd release the items. She changed our deal, so I felt totally justified in saying she owed me rent for the space. My dad did the math for 1 storage unit for 3 months, how long the stuff has been here now, at the lowest price he could find, which was about $400. I reminded him that not only did I have 6 storage units worth of items, but I also had temperature control cause all the items were inside the AC and that the cheapest price for that was $300 a month per storage unit, so it really came out to $5,400. He got so angry that the matter wasn't discussed further and he left. I sent a text to him and Kate stating this: since the terms of our original agreement have changed, I no longer feel comfortable storing your items. For breaking our initial terms, I am asking for the $2,000 in debts owed on top of $5,400 for storing your items in my home, with an additional $1,800 added on the first of each month until all items are retrieved. I am giving a 90-day notice at the end of which the items will be transferred into my ownership as per our state law, and I will dispose of the items as I see fit. If you decide against retrieving the items and do not pay at least the $2,000, I will be forced to file against the estate for the entirety of the debts I am owed that potentially will amount to more than $450,000. Please notify me of your decision either by text or email. Thank you. My brother is on my side, but I have gotten non-stop calls from my dad and Kate saying how terrible I am and how I can't back out of the previous deal and they are her items so she can come and take them whenever. I think that if she wants to take her stuff back, since that was how I was supposed to get my $2,000 back, that she should have to pay the $2,000 and the rent for keeping it here for months for free. My boyfriend and roommate think I should charge her more cause they have watched how much I have done for her and think she is being unreasonable. Update 1. 4 days later. A ton of stuff has happened since I last posted a few days ago. I appreciate everyone's comments and advice cause I was feeling really 50-50 from all the gaslighting and am very grateful for the clarity both good and bad. I decided to have a garage sale to start really selling things and getting stuff out of my house. We decided this the day I posted and had the garage sale today. Kate was alerted to the fact that I was doing this, and on Friday night before the garage sale she went over to my brother and dad's house. She demanded they negotiate a deal for her to get a 50-50 split of any money made in the garage sale without my knowledge beforehand and without me being there. I got a call from my dad at 9 p.m. stating that they came to this conclusion and that was how it was going to be tomorrow, today, and that I just had to accept that. Side note, my brother did not agree to the terms. He sat silently after voicing he thought I should be part of the discussion and was shot down. I had said that I am recouping the money that she owed me and that only after I recoup that amount would the chance of the money being split even remotely occur. Kate started raging and calling me and my boyfriend, who wasn't brought up nor part of the discussions at all, so it really just felt like she was trying to get under my skin, every name in the book, and screaming that she owed me nothing and if anything I owe her for bringing me into some relevance by helping her. She then started threatening me with physical violence. My father hung up the phone after those comments abruptly, but I was told that she was raging at their house for another good hour before leaving. After my father hung up, I immediately texted him and Kate that they were not allowed on my property and if they do the police would be called. That was the last communication I had with them Friday night. This morning our garage sale started at 7 a.m. along with others in the community and we were all set and ready to go. Kate and my father showed up at about 7:05 and I promptly stood up and pointed off my property and said they are trespassing and needed to leave. Kate walked over to the table and grabbed as much stuff as she could carry and started screaming that it was her stuff and that I was selling it illegally. She started throwing stuff off tables and breaking things, screaming that she can break her stuff. She brought a few things to the edge of my property, so I followed her to the edge, put my arms straight up in the air and screamed she needed to leave. She started attacking me while my arms were up in the air, trying to get back into my garage to break more things, but I was an athlete all my life and she wasn't getting past. At this point neighbors were watching from their homes as Kate continued her blind rage, screaming and attacking me. My father tried to intervene to move me out of the way, but I was still able to keep her from coming onto the property. My boyfriend and roommate, who was outside when they pulled up, both called the police. My roommate's mother was coming by to pick my roommate up for a baby shower and witnessed the whole ordeal as well. When Kate figured out she couldn't get past me, she stormed off screaming as she went. My roommate's mother asked what was going on since she had only heard stories of Kate but never met her. I said that that's Kate and she understood immediately, but my father, not knowing who he was talking to, said to RM, "This is all her items and this woman is illegally selling them in a garage sale." I was baffled and RM, knowing the situation, replied, "With you and I both know that's not only not true, but the fact that you would lie about that is horrendous. You should be ashamed." I pulled out my phone with the proof of Kate saying I can sell these items to recoup money, and my father realized he had no leg to stand on and left. I knew Kate was on the phone with the police and telling them a bogus story, so I called my brother asking him to come to my house because he has all the proof for everything copied and recorded so the police can see there's nothing fishy going on. When he heard what my father did and said he wanted to call him to ask what happened, when my brother called me back he said he would be there in 30. He got to my house just before the police arrived. Kate had said that not only did I steal everything but I also shoved my father to get to Kate and assaulted her as well. She had no marks to prove that though, while I was covered with red marks and bruises. My brother gave all the evidence to the police while they got our statements. They found that the only one breaking the law was Kate and she was arrested for trespassing and battery against me. She only was a block away when she was arrested and was threatening to come back and finish the job in front of the police, which wasn't really smart. Thankfully though, we sold out of all the toys, about 60% of the stuffed animals, and made over $1,000 on selling plushies for $1. My father came back around 10 a.m. and wanted to speak with me. My brother supervised. My father said I wouldn't have to worry about Kate or him any longer as I was being disowned and he was never going to speak with me again. My brother screamed at him but his mind was made up. He said he loved me but it's for the best and left. I have already got a therapist lined up for next week and have a temporary restraining order on Kate. I'm waiting on a date for her court case, but we will see. She can't come to the property or within 500 feet of me, so there shouldn't be anything major going on, but if anything else happens I will update. Update 2. Firstly, we had the first court hearing about me getting on as a creditor in probate this week and the judge did accept my evidence. Kate is of course challenging it, which is what we expected, but with the evidence that was accepted, I will at least be getting some compensation for that. Secondly, almost everything is sold. Kate threatened to have movers come to move everything out and threatened more if items are missing, but according to my lawyer, she's fighting a losing case as we have her on recording verifying that we can sell these items, so she's really just paying to pay more in lawyer fees. The third, and one I find hilarious but not really, is she cheated on my father. She called someone from another state in front of my dad begging for money and help, and the gentleman flew to our state that day. My father was very distraught and is now fighting his own battle against Kate to get the money he is owed. My father and I have only spoken once since the incident, in which he doubled down on his stance that I was in the wrong and he didn't want to listen to why I was upset since he had no defense for what he did, or lack thereof. Everyone around me has also doubled down on not speaking to him and going NC, which is what I've done thus far. Kate's trial for the trespassing, battery, assault and more will be in the next few weeks as well. She was just served today. She's threatening to sue me for illegal business practices, but again everything I'm hearing from my lawyer is that she has no leg to stand on and he's confident that any action she tries to take we have a strong case against it.